understand that when you do react emotionally, especially as a man, especially as a black man, that you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win, man. And especially when it comes to dealing with these women, even though there are moments where it is understandable for you to, you know what I'm saying, to react emotionally. But it's just, you know, I don't want to pass judgment. I guess I just, you know, just for all men to understand that when you react emotionally, I mean, it's like, you know, like Stan said, unless you need to, like, you just lost somebody, you lost a family member, somebody that you need to cry about it. Yeah, get that shit out, cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, when, you know, when it's appropriate timing. But understand that if you're talking about this any other situation, you're not going to win. And I mean, it's not always about winning and losing. You don't want to, you know, like the old saying always goes, like 5 minutes of blasting out can cost you 15.
You're fine just the way you are. You're not incomplete, you're not broken. You have all the strength and all the love that you need to carry out the task that has been given to you by God in the universe for that particular moment. It will always be that way. And I'm not big on absolute term, but you will always have what you need to get through where you are at that particular point.
Roll me, Mac.
What do you think prevents people from manifesting their dreams? Fear. Fear and listening to people who don't understand your ambitions, really. I know throughout my 20s, I listened to a lot of people. I mean, they didn't mean any harm by it. They were just speaking off their own limitations. And it prevented me from going out there and trying to figure shit out myself, you know, trying to become successful at my dreams per se. Not so much the job, you know, I mean, your job is, you know, it's 9 to 5 type thing, you know, so, I mean, and from a military standpoint, once you've learned the job and you get out and you go on without like I would say supervision type qualities within your job, you're pretty much doing the same thing. It's a hamster wheel. So with no upward mobility, it's easier to become complacent. You know what I'm saying? Like within your mind. But I had different ambitions for myself. I can speak from that. So as far as like what prevented me from pretty much doing all the things that I want to say that I'm in the position I'm doing right now, as far as like creating a platform where people feel heard, people feel loved, people feel seen type thing, is my own fear of being talked about. When you come from a family that loves to talk about you, it's almost like you're fighting to be accepted, fighting to be seen, heard, loved, if you will. So like, it's having the balls to just put yourself out there, bearing your soul. I mean, if I tell my story, it doesn't matter, you know, what anyone says about it. It's my story. I've already owned up to my bullshit, and I'll continue to do more bullshit that I'll own up to at some point in time. But like these moments that come into your life where it feels like your brain is telling you to go back, like just turn around. This is not for you. You know, you get imposter syndrome, and you question whether or not this is your purpose. And there are a lot of things that's going to happen in your life to question whether or not you're moving down the right path. I don't believe there is a right path. I believe there is a path. You know what I'm saying? And every path comes with consequences. I mean, some people are okay with the consequences that come with what they're doing. Some of us are just think we can just do what the fuck we want to do, and then when things get challenging, we can just run off into wherever and hide. I've been both, you know, as far as hiding from myself, hiding from things that I've done to myself, to others. But ultimately, manifesting, I mean, what prevents us from manifesting our dreams is ourselves. We're the only ones in our way. I mean, we can say it's because I have a family, but we find time to watch Netflix. Time is time. We can say I'm not in the gym because whatever. If you make time is time. If you have chairs in your house, you have a gym. You can look them up on YouTube. There's a way to work out with a chair. And as far as jogging in place, standing in place, like there's ways to be active, you know. So if indeed your dream is to be fit, or if your dream is to open your own business, it's all about the effort in which that you want to put into it. What I do recommend is to not shit on anybody who's actually putting forth that effort to do so. If anything, be inspired. Be inspired by somebody you see that you might have known. You might have known somebody from, I don't know, maybe high school, maybe whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all grew up together, you wish to work together. You see them working at something, be inspired, man. Be inspired when you see somebody going after their shit, willing to burn the boats behind them, if you will, as Tony Robbins would put it. Like what Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich. Burn the fucking boats behind you. Be willing to put yourself out there and chase after what you're going after. No one else has to understand it. You have to believe in yourself. You believing in yourself will inspire others to believe in themselves as well as in you. If you do care, even if you care, if that's something you care about. Like for a long time, I wanted my family's validation for like these things that I would start, and that's just, it was for egoic purposes. You know what I'm saying? Whether they believe in me or not, it's up to me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just having the courage to believe in yourself, and fear, yo. Like fear's gonna be there regardless. Courage is not the absence of fear, is done in spite of, you know, and it's not built for, not everybody is mentally strong enough to go through with a task despite the fear. Some of us have no choice. You know, some of us are all our kid has. Some of us are all our family has. Some of us are all we have. So like decisions, I have to figure out what's on the other side, and I'm willing to take the fall however it goes. And that is what makes people champions to me, in my mind. A successful person, somebody who does not play it safe. I mean, they have a word for that. It's called the Matrix. The Matrix allows everybody to feel safe, to believe all the fairy tales, that their life is very cushiony and nothing can happen to them. Those of us who have seen the Matrix and have taken the red pill in life, we understand that there is no safety in an unsafe world. This world is filled with caution around the corner, but it's not to live in fear of things happening. I mean, we all do the same shit. Somebody, let's just say a shooting happens in a grocery store, not putting that out there, not wishing that on anything in the universe. People will, for a couple weeks, not go to their grocery stores for fear of it happening to them, copycats. Who's to say it's not gonna happen right now, regardless of this thing happening? We don't know. It can very well happen, but that's just how we operate in our minds. Same thing, school shooting. I don't know if I want my kid going to school. It can happen anywhere. It really can. And all we can do is be prepared for an escape if we can make it. And that's the reality, the dark reality of this world that we live in, is that somebody can show up to your house. Somebody can do, harm when, if they decided to. And we would have to deal with that. And that's the unfortunate part. Those are real fears. But are we gonna live in fear? What good is that? What good is that to live, safe in a corner for years and years and years and years? Gotta live, man. Gotta be willing to live. Gotta be willing to put yourself out there, go after whatever it is you believe in. That'll inspire your kids to do the very same thing. So, I mean, for me, what prevents us from manifesting our dreams, I believe, is just our own fear. We're getting in our own way. Fear's not even real. It's something that we create in our mind. It only exists in our mind. You know, suffering before necessary is suffering more than necessary. As the Stoics say, like learning to just say fuck it. Truthfully, say fuck it. Live as if this was your last day. If it was your last day, would you care? You just go all out. I mean, we don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow is definitely not promised to us. You know, some folks didn't wake up today. Some might not wake up tomorrow or the next day, whatever, so on and so forth. But I look at it as like, be inspired, man. Be inspired. Inspire yourself. Find inspiration in others, but inspire yourself, man. Go after what it is, whatever it is that you want to work towards. Leave your mark. Leave your legacy. What are you going to be remembered for? If it matters to you. I mean, if you're fine with just your life the way that it is, then accept that. But accept it, though. Don't complain about it. If you want change, you have to become the change you want to see. So, who's preventing us from manifesting our dreams? Us.
Hey, what up, everybody? Yeah, do me a favor real quick. Just hit like, subscribe, and of course, comment if you have anything, obviously to mention about the show.
According to you, what are the three main disadvantages of the modern world that we live in? Social media, advancements in technologies, even though that's an advantage as well, and inequality. Rather, I think that I would say social media, advancement in technology, and inequality. And as far as like born into unofficial caste systems, like in the world. Now on the Eastern world, there are caste systems. Like in India, they have caste systems and things like that. Like you are born, this is the system in which you're born in. You're born into rich, you're born into poor. And they practice good dharma so that they can have good karma. So they believe that like if you come in here as a merchant, you'll come back as whatever in the next life type thing. But as far as like our society, social media has we were not prepared to deal with social media. Social media is like it's a loaded gun. It can really do great things for you, but it can kill you inside, mentally. Social media heightens all of our insecurities in ways that we couldn't even imagine, to the point where we want people to exalt us as if we are God. We want to build a throne to ourselves through social media. Some of us do. Some of us just watch others who build thrones or just watch, just get information in general. So, I mean, social media is great to connect with like your family and friends and all that stuff. But those of us that have become narcissistic because of social media, it has killed our relationships. It has killed, we've allowed it to kill our relationships rather. So it's not just social media. I just feel it's an influence. So it's a disadvantage of having social media is the fact that we allow it to be used for a means of showing that I have more and you have less, or like to highlight the fact that, you know, I have this perfect life when I'm struggling inside, to highlight that I don't have it all together. You know what I'm saying? But I'm portraying that I do online. You know what I mean? And I think that social media, I believe that social media I believe that social media is a teenager, you know, unruly, cool, you know what I'm saying? But requires guidance, requires much guidance. And I believe that it's something that I think it's something that we could use. We definitely could use some guidance on social media to to manage our own selves, because it's chaos. To be honest, frankly, it's just chaos, and it's very distracting. I'm sure some of us have experience going on TikTok and time just goes the fuck by, or Instagram or whatever it is. You know, for me, YouTube, studying shit, but like time just breezes the fuck by, and the question is, what did I watch? How did it influence me? What did it do to my mindset? Did I feel bad because they have things that I don't have, type thing? You know what I mean? It's like watching a reality show and watching people with money, thinking that we can relate to them and them showing us their millionaire problems. But it's fake ass scripted drama to lure us in to watch them live life while we exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get to live, we get to exist. When we sit and watch people live in reality shows, I prefer to live. So, I mean, I grind so that I can live at some point, in a way that, I mean, I'm living every day, but I mean, in a way that my goals, like the lofty goals that I have for oneself and my family going forward, you know, to no longer have to deal with poverty, but for us to know how to manage money and know how to help others and things like that. But so social media is one of the disadvantages. Advancement in technology. The more technology we get, the more money we're going to want to spend. And it's just, we're never satisfied. Like the iPhone, don't get me wrong, Apple be doing fuck shit. Like, if you got like the iPhone 10 and iPhone 15 is out, they're gonna make they're gonna make your phone outdated so you can't use it, so you can spend more money. But for those of us within those years, you see people getting new devices, new whatever, like again, video game systems, all that stuff. They I just heard that PlayStation 6 is coming out next Christmas. At least on TikTok. I have to fact check it, but supposedly PlayStation 6 is coming out next fucking Christmas. And I'm like, I just got a PS5. I literally I just paid you motherfuckers, Sony. But like, having these new devices, these new technologies and all this stuff, and we can get lost in it. We're lost in trying to keep up with the Joneses. Now, don't get me wrong, evolution is inevitable on a lot of stuff, but I mean, like, as far as everything that comes out, we feel like it's necessary to pick up the latest gadget, the latest whatever it is, the biggest TV, all that stuff. It's a distraction, and some of us can mismanage our money. I'm not saying that everybody that buys it mismanages their money, but we definitely have a society where we are trying to cop the latest thing to be accepted, to be considered in, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And trying to impress people that we don't even like. So it has a negative connotation on it, you know, like when we're doing it for these reasons. And it's not everybody, but it's some of us, you know what I'm saying, that's out here trying to impress others and willing to go into debt to do so. And I feel like that's just a disadvantage for us, you know, as far as like what lengths are you willing to go to be loved? Or what lengths are you willing to go to have love and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? What does love look like to you? Like, it varies in different ways, you know what I'm saying? For some, love is I beat up somebody. Love is I got the latest technology. I got the latest cell phone. Love is I did what my parents wanted me to do with my life, you know, and I'm sure a lot of us lived like that for a long time. And every time you get to that point, there's always a new checkpoint. It's like playing Outrun on Sega, or arcade. I'm showing my age. Outrun was the shit, you know. But like when you get to a checkpoint, it just keeps going further, and you gotta keep going. Like Ridge Racer for PlayStation, Rad Racer for Nintendo, Cruising USA for Nintendo 64 and arcade, Cruising World. I'm getting sidetracked thinking about racing games, but I think you get the point. There's always going to be another level of love that we're going to be obtained. We're never fucking satisfied, bro. Never fucking satisfied. That ego will not let you rest. The ego wants you to have that shit. You know what I'm saying? And learn to be appreciative and grateful for the things that you have. Inequality, I would say, is something that is a disadvantage to us, as far as like being born in some families, being born into money. Now, granted, we're talking about stemming from like issues with slavery. You know what I mean? Like families being literally destroyed from the brain, from the mind. You know what I'm saying? You take the mind, the body soon follows. So if it's a lot of people have come up from like that, from descendants of slaves have come up from being in an impoverished environment to the two ways of money. But it's a lot of us out here that are not financially literate and do not understand how to make money, do not understand how to save money, do not understand how to use money to make money. So we end up getting at a hamster wheel and giving the money back to the very individuals that we just got it from. You know what I mean? And but the inequality aspect is like education is really what I'm referring to. Like, if we don't, a lot of us are not privy to the same education, and because there's no benefit in it. If I educate you with this knowledge that will better your life, it takes money out of my pocket, because you are, because of your level of education, you're going to go out and buy validation items that I can get rich off. But if I teach you everything I know, then you're not going to go out and buy those things, and that's going to take money out of my pocket. So, I mean, I understand the economic standpoint of it. However, I feel like that makes it a disadvantage, you know, because you'll have people willing to go out and spend money on unnecessary things for the sake of being validated, things they don't even use. I can't tell you how many video games I've bought. That's a new word. I'm gonna keep that shit. I've bought over the last few years that I've yet to play, still in plastic. Why? Conditioned from my childhood for buying video games, because that's what made me feel good, but I don't play them like I used to. And I haven't made the time to do so. But when College Football 25 come out, July 19th, yes, I intend to play that. I definitely intend to play that. But the education, right? The education, I think in that sense of inequality, like, I don't necessarily want to have your lifestyle. I would love to have the education that you have, though, to have said lifestyle. That's a choice, it's given. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether I decide to do it or not. But not everybody is equipped with that education. And knowledge is the cornerstone. It's the cornerstone to a better life, is being educated on something, like having the know-how to make said money. There's a way to do it. And it takes effort. It takes discipline and focus. You got to be willing to eliminate distractions so that you can focus on shit. And some have it, some don't. But I just believe that the inequality is there. You know, as far as like not everybody having the same education system, especially for our kids in school. You know, a lot of them are not taught how to make money, taught how to be functional as an adult. We're just test takers, you know what I'm saying? And then we're judged based off of how we did take a test. Not so much for our actual skill level that we may have, because not everybody learns the same way, but I digress. However, social media, Advancement in technology, inequality, to me, are the three major disadvantages in the modern world, according to me. If you could interview anyone on your platform, who would you choose? If I could interview anybody on my platform, I would choose Don Miguel Ruiz. I would choose Don Miguel Ruiz because of the realm that he allowed me to enter with the Toltec wisdom, as far as being impeccable with your word, don't take anything personal, don't make assumptions, and always do your best, as well as the other stuff that he put down, you know, from between him and his sons on the mastery of love, the mastery of self, and, you know, all the other books. I still have another book to, a few of his other books to kind of dabble into, but I mean, Don Miguel Ruiz being not single-handedly, but he played a part in saving my life where I was at the time mentally. So I would just want to know the ins and outs of him. You know what I mean? As far as like his mind, I like to pick apart his mind and so I can know even more about myself, as far as how to heal without nothing external. You know what I mean? Like trying to project me onto somebody else. And I'm just forever grateful for the things that he taught me, as well as others, with the Toltec wisdom, that is, and grateful for information, you know, and just to really get to know, like I said, just like really just to get to know him as a man, and so that I can be a better man myself, and pass on more information to my peers and people around me. So if there's a person that I could pick to be to interview for my platform, anybody in the world, it would definitely be Don Miguel Ruiz, simply for the fact that he had a hand in saving my life. What personal prisons have you built out of fears? The personal prisons I have built out of fear is that abandonment and feeling like the world owes me every fucking thing. I've done this over time. I'm required for an individual to hit me up because I've hit them up so much. You know what I'm saying? Like ego shit. Personal prisons of just living, right? And being afraid to live. Like worried about everything. As soon as you step out the house, somebody's coming for you, you know, type thing. And that's not always the case, you know. I find myself just I would find myself a lot of times like scaring myself inside my mind, and I can equate it to PTSD, and like going through something and I didn't have anybody there to help me regulate those emotions as far as what was going on, because I was given such a cushiony life, if you will, and then having that entitlement of like nothing can happen to me. I am I'm untouchable. I'm the best. I'm the good kid, you know. So then when these dreams, when these images in your mind get shattered, life becomes challenging because it's not going according to your expectations. So again, I try to live by the mantra of no entitlement, no expectations, and no ego. For that very reason, I've had my life as I know it stripped from me, and it was not a very comfortable thing. And those prisons, so I was like, that's where the abandonment comes in, and trying to cling on to shit, being a people pleaser, trying not to rock the boat, and allowing someone to manipulate me, allowing someone to just do whatever they want to do to me for fear of being alone. You know what I mean? And it happens. We get in that stage, you know what I'm saying? Like we're pack animals. We need from our caveman days, so it's like though we had the same brains then, but we're okay. Like you're all right. You know what I'm saying? Like you're good. You're fine just the way you are. You're not incomplete. You're not broken. You have all the strength and all the love that you need to carry out the task that has been given to you by God and the universe for that particular moment. It will always be that way. And I'm not big on absolute term, but you will always have what you need to get through where you are at that particular point in life. But those personal prisons of abandonment, I can't trust I don't trust a fucking soul. You know what I'm saying? Especially like when it comes to relationships. And that's because of the lack of consistency in relationships, like just people being there. Used to people, ready to leave, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So I'll leave before you do, is the case. I think that's a lot of us that do that, but it's like I said, it's challenging. It can be very, very challenging for us to kind of navigate through life with this mindset. So having like a negative mindset, living in fear instead of living in love, essentially is what we're talking about here. And those what those prisons do. You keep look at whatever you focus on, you will find. So if you focus on negative shit will manifest into your life. And it took me a while to do so, like to understand that. So I started to incorporate a positive mindset to test this thing out, because I've already done the other. Like my life is horrible, all the bad things happen to me instead of for me. I say it happens to me, but growth. That's what growth's about, man. It's all about how you look at shit. It's never the situation itself. It's our thoughts on the situation that make us feel what we feel. So it's like learning to look at things from a positive standpoint has allowed me to, since then, improve my life in many ways. Because I was like I said, being in a very, very dark space, and already not trusting people, but now being in a dark space to the point where I wasn't sure about this life shit anymore. But that's growth, and that's not listening to your ego. Your ego's never enough. Your soul knows you are enough right where you are. And, that's just, like I said, it's all part of the growth. So, those personal prisons of abandonment, I'm not lovable, I'm not able to trust anybody, all those things were those were those personal prisons that I would find myself in, and not allowing myself to open up, even like to friendship type shit. Because you're just constantly having the rug pulled from beneath you. And, you still want to protect yourself, but have stronger boundaries is really what it's about. And I had to learn better boundaries. I had to learn to not be such a people pleaser, and that I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you felt like you had to do all that pleasing shit to get love, and you don't have to do that. You already got it. The kitchen is full. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to take anybody else's food because your kitchen is fucking full. So that's, I'm biting off of Don Miguel Ruiz in The Mastery of Love. He talks about that shit. Like, if somebody came to your door with a pizza and you got food in the kitchen, you ain't sweating that shit. No, go ahead with that bullshit. Like, if you want this, you got to do this. But if you feel like your kitchen is empty and somebody show up with that pizza, you might try to get down with the get down. You know what I'm saying? To get that fucking that meat lovers stuffed crust. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't have to. Your kitchen's full. You're fine. Just the way you are. Of course, you can always get better for yourself, but I'm better for others, man. Nah, fuck that. Get better for you. That's all I'm covering. What are your thoughts on homosexuality in cartoons geared towards children? I mean, I'm gonna call a spade, right? So apparently there's like what's this movie, Inside Out 2, that's out. And there's homosexuality infused in the cartoon. Now, yes, everything, let's get some history on shit. Everything that was once uncomfortable, a lot of the norms that we have today was once uncomfortable for somebody, whether you're being black, whether you're a woman that votes, whether you're a woman that works, all this shit, women playing in the damn WNBA. Like, there are a lot of things that a lot of people fear change, but change is inevitable. As far as a child seeing homosexuality, the child is not going to do anything until the parent infuses fear on it, where they feel like there's something wrong about it. Like, John Miguel Ruiz talks about in, I think it was the 4 Agreements, how kids play together at the playground, right? They don't see color, they just play. But when their parent comes up and says, don't play with Tommy or don't play with Shasha because, whatever, like whatever race it is, now they know there's a division between them. Before that, they just saw love, So I kind of have the same stance about this cartoon shit. At the same time, like, I'm a hypocrite because it's uncomfortable for me because I'm a heterosexual man, like to see it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm uncomfortable with, I'm okay with violence. I'm okay with, like, my kids seeing violence. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, hypothetically, my kid is grown now, but like, hypothetically, I was okay with my kids seeing, crude humor. I was okay with my kids seeing, there was straight couples. We see that all the time in Disney movies where a male kisses, like the female and whatnot. And hell, we saw a sex scene in The Lion King. Y'all know damn well that when Nala looked at Simba, the way that she looked at him, he was about to lick that kitty. He was about to lick that kitty. In all seriousness though, but we're hypocrites. We're hypocrites. We can be like, oh, we don't want our kids seeing, gay shit. It's really, we don't want to explain the shit. And I guess that's the educational part, that, like it or not, this shit is in our society. And it's just something else that they're going to be educated on. Gay is not a disease. You don't catch it. So if a nigga is around you that's gay, or a woman that's around you that's gay, that doesn't make you gay. Like, you know what I mean? That's not how this shit works, from my understanding. You know what I mean? Like, it's either you attracted to them or you're not. I guess that's my thoughts. I could be ignorant to the fact on something, but as far as my mindset goes on that stuff, should they have warned you? Yep, sure should have. They should have warned you about the violence in the movies. They should have warned you about the heterosexuality, kissing scenes and all that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I mean by us being hypocrites. Like, we're okay with this shit because we're programmed. We've been programmed and been seeing it. This is new programming, is what's going on. Even if I don't care too much for it. You know what I mean? I have nothing against gay people. I just don't care to see shit. You know what I mean? As far as like, I don't care to see it. It doesn't mean that if gay people are around or whatever, you know what I mean? It's no different than, I guess, seeing it's certain things that you just don't want to see for yourself, because you're thinking about yourself. But it doesn't mean that I don't give them the right to do what they do. Like, I guess, like knowing that your parents fuck. We know our parents fuck because we here. We won't necessarily want to see them fuck. It makes us uncomfortable. Uncomfortable never killed anybody though. But it's just the mindset on it. I don't believe that they should die because because you kissed around me and none of that shit. It's just like, all right, cool. It's like, I don't know, maybe like seeing your daughter Like kiss her boyfriend or your son, you know, a double standard. You wouldn't care if your son did the shit, but you're seeing your daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like kiss her boyfriend, do anything like, you know, knowing that they've done anything sexual, some shit you just don't want, you're uncomfortable with. You know it happens, you're just uncomfortable with the shit. Doesn't mean that my daughter shouldn't be able to do it or doesn't have the right to do so. You know what I mean? And that's where, like I said, we're all hypocrites. Well, I would collectively say that. Some people are just okay with what they see. You know what I mean? Especially for kids. But if indeed this is going to be the new model, it's just that because it's different than what we grew up seeing, I believe. I don't recall seeing much homosexuality in cartoons growing up. Jungle Book. I mean, you know what? Yeah, the Aristocats. No one says shit about Thomas O'Malley hitting on Duchess. No one says shit about that. These cartoons, are they there for entertainment? What are they gonna do? I mean, I really don't know what the angle is. I don't know what the purpose is, but I mean, that's not for us. That's not for me to decide. It's for Disney. You know what I'm saying? And if the question does come up, treat it as any other question that you would probably get from your kid. You know, it's just about us educating our kids. Is that something that you want to infuse right now? Probably not. You know, I mean, I get it, but is it really our fear of, is it truly our fear of homosexuality though? Is that, you know, it's like, do we look at it, do we see homosexuality as a bad thing? You know, or is it just a thing? You know what I'm saying? I guess that's really what begs the question for ourselves, to ask about ourselves and our insecurities as far as like how we feel about homosexuality. It's uncomfortable because I believe some of us believe you can catch it. You know, it's not a disease. You know, it's literally yeah. I don't know how it operates, and you know, quite frankly, it's not up to me. It's not about me. But there are gay people in the world, and it's either you're going to accept it or you're not. So as far as the stuff going on like in the cartoons, should there be like a warning for the simple? I believe that it wouldn't hurt them to have a warning for the simple fact of how TV has been for so long. You know, it's almost like how right before the Thriller video, Michael put like a little head warning, like, hey, because him being, you know, growing up Jehovah's Witness, and they put, you know, and to put a thing about no affiliation with the occult and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That was, again, like that type of warning. Hey, before you watch this, know that there may be some scenes. I mean, they do it all the time. Like, you know, in news reports. And we want to forewarn you, this stuff could be disturbing to some. I mean, yeah, to some, if you care enough. They need our permission to offend us. So we have to decide, are we going to be offended, or are we just going to, oh, okay, baby, that's what that is. Because what difference is it when a 5-year-old asks questions about why did they shoot at the school? It's not something you want to tell your kid that early, but it happened. So maybe it's the same shit as far as like if we're educated on it, we won't be as scared. You know, we fear what we don't understand. So until we get the education on homosexuality, on whatever pronouns and transgenders and everything that is the opposite of everything that's the opposite of being heterosexual. Until we get the education on that, of course, we're going to respond with ignorance, because we're afraid. I believe the ones that choose to respond in ignorance are afraid because they don't know. It's the fear of the unknown. We've all been guilty of it at some point in time in life. It's one of those things like the cooties. You think you're catching the cooties or something like in elementary school. Like, oh, don't touch her if she got the cooties or he got the cooties. Shit. And we make mountains out of molehills. So it doesn't become a thing until you make it a thing. It can stay a thing. It doesn't have to be good or bad. We decide whether or not it's a thing. So you have to make that decision. Is it going to be a thing for your house, or is it not? Or is it just going to be something else that just goes in the movie and you just blow right past the shit? I haven't seen the movie to say, but I'm a fan of the series. I like anger. Anger is funny as shit, yo. Anger and sadness. Anger and sadness are hilarious in Inside Out. I've watched Inside Out, the first one, for the first time this year. Part of my entertainment schedule. One of the movies that made my entertainment schedule. But I mean, like I said, my stance on it, as far as infusing this into cartoons, if this is going to be the wave, I believe there should be some education on it. Because if I just toss things at you, here I am type thing, especially when it comes to, I would say, like children. I mean, I can understand a parent's, giving the decision. So you get the decision to decide whether or not you want to watch it. That's one thing I can understand that. You're like, okay, this is what's going to be in this movie. I can decide if I want to see it, type of thing. So that's where I can respect I think I saw like a TikTok, and the guy, he, as a parent, was just talking about, I have to explain this thing to my kid. Now it's a choice. Because on another note is that there's certain things that we may not be ready to talk to our kid about. At the same time, why are we okay with with the heterosexual stuff, but we are uncomfortable with the like talking about the gay shit? It's not a better or worse thing. It's both are on the same, typically on the same level, unless you bring religion into the fact, or your culture, whichever it is. But that's not a walk for me to go through anymore. But like I said, we're all hypocrites. Everything I said in the beginning might not even match up with the fuck I'm saying in the end. But overall, all we know is that it happened. It's in the movie. So we'll see. Obviously there's going to be backlash, because that's the era we live in right now. We backlash for about a couple days, and then we got a new thing to be backlashing about. But yeah, Inside Out 2 has some stuff that is stirring up backlash in regards to kids seeing homosexuality. And you decide, man. That's truthfully what it boils down to. There's no validation point. You decide what, is like okay for your household. And folks have to respect that. So could Disney have given parents the option? Sure, they could have. However, I don't think that they have to be crucified for it. So, I guess ultimately that's my stance on it. Am I for it? It's easy for me to say that I'm not, I'll say it makes me, I'll say I'm uncomfortable with it. And it's because it's something new. That's being honest. It's being straightforward and honest about the shit, is that it's just something new. So, it very well may not be a thing. I don't know if that's gonna, I guess it's just that, truthfully, this is just our society. I believe that's what they're conditioning us to see. So they did it in, I think Beauty and the Beast had something. They said shit about that. Inside Out, it's the same. They're pretty much, they're trying to include everyone now. This is the world we live in. It's a transitional period that we're in. And for those of us that have been living longer than, I don't know, maybe 35 years, we're used to a different lifestyle. And the world we grew up in is not the world we're living in now. And I guess that's really the difference maker, So there's just things have changed. And people want change, but people don't want to change at the same time. So we'll continue to be hypocrites. We'll backlash for a couple days, and then we'll find some new shit.